Alright, so in order to get an effective texture map, we're going to need to do a couple things. First off, we're going to need to select polygon. Okay. Now polygon, if you look in the scene here, this will actually tell you what you're grabbing. Okay, what polygon you're grabbing. It's not really useful at this point. What we need to do is hit Control A in this window over here in the UVW map editor, and then go to Flatten Mapping under the Mapping tab, and we'll give it, face threshold. That's fine. We'll just see the other defaults. And what it does now, if we zoom in on this here, what's actually happening now is I'm getting a bunch of different. Let's deselect here. This is a little bit more clear now what's happening. So I have a back plate now and a front plate, as you can see that. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to Tools, Render UVW Template. Now this is going to create for me a template that I can use in Photoshop to paint up each individual pane. I'm going to create a 2048 by 2048 map. Nice big resolution. And I'm also going to, let's see, mode. We'll keep this at solid. And I'll render the UVW template. It hasn't done anything yet. It's going to actually ask me a question first. It's going to say, what format do you want this in? Okay, so this is the same window you get when you render an image. It's the same process. This is sort of held in queue, and then you can tell it what kind of image to be. I want this to be iPhone texture template 2. I've already done this demo once, so this will be 2. Alright, and I'm going to save it as a JPEG. It doesn't really matter what you save it as. This is a nice small setting. Alright, and what I'm going to get is iPhone texture template. I'm going to right click on this, and I'm going to open it with Photoshop. So what you see here is a background image that has been rendered out. It's got a black background here. And what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to go back into 3ds Max. I'm going to close this down, get rid of all this stuff, and bring up my materials editor. And now I'm going to tell this bitmap right here to be, actually let's just do a new one so you guys can see the process again. Okay, so what I'm going to do actually is grab the diffuse channel. Here we go. Select bitmap, and it's going to bring up which one do you want. I'm going to use the iPhone texture template. I'm going to hit OK. And what's going to happen now, if I go back to my scene, is I'll actually, once I hit the show shaded material in viewport, it's already happening. The texture used to be black, but now it's coming up as this default gray. So I'm going to jump into Photoshop and make a couple changes, just like I would in a normal Photoshop document. I'm going to add some layers, save it out as a PSD with some different stuff on it, and we'll see kind of what happens. Alright, so I'm going to come back with the image done. Alright, so I've created 2 sides for this texture here. I'll take a look at the full-size document. These are the sides of the actual cube, and I don't need those, but I've got a front. I made a little fake button for it, and it's got the interface there as well. And then I've got some text on the back. So we'll go over to 3ds Max. It's already been applied. I applied the PSD itself. You'll notice there isn't actually a dent here. It's just the image. It's not an actual button. I didn't model it. I textured it. You'll find that technique a lot in video games. You look underneath here, and it's actually the wrong direction. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to, I didn't mean to sound so shocked. I'm going to go back here. I'm going to rotate it. Okay, holding down the Shift key so that it rotates in the right direction and snaps. I'm going to hit Enter, Control S to save, and then when I go back to 3ds Max, once that reloads, it's already flipped. Pretty nice. So that is the quickest way I can think of to start messing around. Again, you've got the unwrap UVW modifier, so you can click this open again, and you can see which faces. If you wanted some sort of design for some reason on the sides here, you would figure out which side you're looking at, and then texture it accordingly in that PSD, and then save it. So that's the technique we're using.